trying to string the videos together and do one at least every other day. So yeah, today what we're going to be taking care of, it's a very common issue on the 4.6 4-valve motors. In the front of the motors, there is this coolant crossover tube right here. I'm going to show you closer here in a minute, but it's essentially a metal tube that allows coolant to, jump from one head to the other on the motor. So there is a bleeder plug on the top of these, and they are notorious for stripping out and getting stuck because it's just like a little plug, and in the top of it, I'm going to show you, there's just a little square, and they strip out. So mine, unfortunately, last week stripped out, so we're going to be replacing it with a modular motorsport racing bleeder plug. I'd recommend that everybody do this, whether yours is stripped or not, because after I show you, what we're removing versus what we have, you're going to be like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. But honestly, I'm still kind of wondering how I'm going to get this thing out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and show that to you so we can talk about it more. Yeah, so essentially, the part that I am referring to is right here. As you can see, this is the bleeder plug. You remove it in order to bleed and burp the coolant system and to refill your coolant system. This little square down inside of here is a receiver for a 1/4-inch ratchet. So that's essentially what you're supposed to do right there, but mine is stripped. So it was not stripped, but here recently I tried to take it off because I removed these hoses to replace them with some nicer hose clamps. I'm eventually going to redo all of these too, but when I removed it from the top of the radiator, a little bit of coolant leaked out, so I just wanted to bleed the system again and make sure it was completely full, even though I only lost like an ounce, because I'm just obsessive like that. So we're going to try to figure out how to get this thing out of here, because you can't exactly just grab it with pliers, because this little 1/8 inch lip is all that's there. So this is going to be really fun. I'm going to start off with trying to get a Torx bit and beat it down in there and then turn the Torx bit. I'm hoping that works, because if not, then it looks like I might have to weld something to it and then take it off. But of course, we're going to heat this thing up as hot as we possibly can, because that's what's really going to help break this thing loose. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you the bit that I'm going to use and, see if it works. So I did want to show you the replacement plug here. It is, I'll show you the invoice here so you can kind of see. Crossover tube bleeder fill plug for 96-04 Cobra, Mach 1 and 0304 Cobra. They're $32.99 plus $10.75 shipping to me. But I'm pretty sure that these also are going to fit on like the all the Lincoln vehicles, the Mark 8 and the Marauder and stuff that have the 4.6 4-valve too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is going to look way better than that piece of junk that's on there. And it's has a hex head on it so that you can put a wrench on it. As you can see, it's billet aluminum. You can see where it was actually cut out. You can see the swirl marks from where it was cut out of a solid piece of aluminum. So this is a high quality product, has some nice O-rings on it there. So yeah, and I think it's gonna just give that coolant crossover tube just a little bit more character. So I'm going to, go ahead and see what we can do to get this old piece of junk out of there and get this new MMR Bleeder Plug in. So my first idea that came to mind was a T50 Torx, because it's like scraping on the edges when I stick it in there. I'm thinking I'll heat this tube up and smack this with my 5-pound sledge one good time, and then put a wrench on there and try to turn it. I believe it is, yeah, it's 5/16, so I can put a 5/16 socket on this and try to turn it, or I can just put a 5/16 box wrench on it and try to turn it. So let's go ahead and try that. As you can see, I just got my heat gun on here. I'm gonna leave it for like a minute or two. This heat gun puts out crazy heat, so it won't take very long and that thing will be almost glowing. It's so hot. All right, so I smacked this T50 down in there with my sledge. I didn't beat on it, but I tapped it, you know, with the weight of the hammer, and I got it locked in there pretty good. So I'm gonna just let it get a little bit hotter. It's already burning my hands, so we'll put some gloves on and, like I stated before, put this wrench on it, see if we can get a turn on it. All right, so unfortunately, the T50 bit did not work. I tried it with the wrench and with the ratchet, and it just stripped. So what I did was I took some vice grips, and it took me a while to get it to where it could grip on there and just grab that edge, but I got it. Let's go, baby. I was so worried that I was gonna have to break out the welder and weld a nut on here, because as you seen in my last video, I have a gasless flux core welder, and you can lay down the most beautiful welds in the world, and the splatter is just crazy. There's little beads of molten metal just jumping everywhere, and I didn't want to burn a vacuum tube or something like that. So yeah, I am super happy. Looks like I'm gonna be able to just spin this thing right out of here. Oh yeah, let's see what this thing looks like after 25 years. I just had it out of there when I burped the coolant system, but you can see it's, you know, it's showing its age. The O-rings are flattened into nothing, and there's some buildup on there from over the years. But yeah, look at how stripped this thing is. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna burp the coolant system right now, and then I'm gonna put the new bleeder plug in. So yeah, and that's it, guys. I got it in there. I really wish the letters were pointing in the right direction. I had a feeling that was gonna happen, but you know, it is what it is. And I got it as snug as I want to get it. And if you notice, I didn't scar this up at all. So the bit itself, or the top of that hex is 7/8. So what I did was I took a 15/16 socket, and then, which is a little bit too big, and then I stuffed a rag in here and then put the bleeder plug down in there so it's like nice and tight, and then put it down here and tightened it down so that I wasn't gonna like scratch it up or anything. So yeah, I am really happy with how this turned out. I think it's a great addition that, whether yours is stripped out or not, I think this is something that you should do to your car, because that bleeder plug from the factory is just a really poor design. It was not made with the thought in mind that, you know, people are going to have to take this out multiple times over the course of the life of the car. So in the near future, I actually just ordered them today. I mentioned them in the last video. I'm really excited about this. We got the Envoy fog light mod that we talked about. So the fog lights in here, they don't fill out this hole all the way. So we got 2002 to 2009 GMC Envoy fog lights. I got brand new ones with the halogen LED high output bulbs or whatever, and I bought brand new wiring harnesses. So I'm pretty sure they actually use the same plug, believe it or not, but I bought new ones just so that everything's brand new in there. And then it's not just plug and play, so we actually have to pull this headlight out. We're gonna have to cut part of this bottom bezel out so that the headlight can sit forward, the fog light can sit forward and fill out this hole. So there's like some trimming of this part that needs to be done. We have to bend the bracket out slightly so that the new fog light can fit in there. It's just slightly bigger. And then, you know, splicing the wires, all that good stuff. Really excited about doing that. It's really gonna, along with the headlights that we just did, it's gonna really make the front of the car look great. And these black housing smoked lens headlights are not, obviously they aren't the greatest in the world at night. I mean, they're as good as like a 1997 factory headlight would be, but they're nothing compared to these newer vehicles. When I turn the high beams on, that's like super bright, but just the low beams are kind of lackluster, kind of like, you know, old factory stuff would be. So I think that those high powered fog lights are really gonna help me when I have my low beams on with visibility, even though I don't really drive very much at night. So yeah, this was a quick repair, but it could have turned into a headache. And I know that anybody out there in the world that has the 4.64 valve motor that has this coolant crossover, I know they've looked at that plug and been like, that's just poor design. So yeah, I'm glad that I could make this video and show you guys how to get it out of there if it's ever stripped. Plan A didn't work, plan B did work, plan C was put a nut on there and weld it to it and then hit it with an impact or something, I don't know. But yeah, if you like what you saw, leave a like. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, then leave a comment. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Once I reach 100 subscribers, I'm giving one of you $100. You get to pick how you want it. It can be like an Amazon gift card, or I can Apple Pay it, or however you want to do it, and I will post proof of it. I'm not gonna run no scam. So yeah, when I reach 100 subscribers, $100 is going to one of you lucky people. And yeah, look out for the GMC Envoy fog light video coming soon. And also, FedEx never resolved the issue with the package. They emailed me today and said that the case was closed, and if I hadn't received my package, to contact the seller, and the seller seems like they barely speak English, so I guess I'm out $80. So I think what I'm going to do is, how I told you I didn't want to mess with the factory bracket on the passenger side. I think that I'm going to rig it up and try to make it work, just so that I have both the seats in my car, and I can get all the interior back in it and everything. I've had the center console and everything out of it for a while because I've been deep cleaning everything. I've been taking the dash apart and cleaning every little bolt and nut and all that jazz. Oh, and coming soon, I'm just waiting for the last thing that I'm going to do show up in the mail. So my gauge cluster, it has green lighting in it, and the center lighting is burnt out. So I ordered brand new LED bulbs to put in the instrument cluster. So it's going to be blue LED lights behind my white face gauges. And then, if you're familiar with the 0304 Cobras, there's a little SVT decal on the tachometer right below where it says, RPMs. There's a red SVT. I ordered that decal to put it on my 97 SVT Cobra. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Have a blessed day. Thanks.